You know that feeling when you're trying to learn something new,
Mm.
especially like a hands-on skill?
Oh, yeah.
You're pushing yourself, right? Maybe working on a new technique or building a habit, and then bam, you just hit a wall.
Mm-hmm. Things get tough.
Yeah, there's friction, maybe opposition. It really feels like you're fighting against something.
It does. And the natural thing,
It's
honestly,
to pull back, right? You go
Ugh.
back to what feels easy, what's comfortable.
It's incredibly common, that sensation, that pressure or resistance. It often feels like a warning sign.
Like, whoa, maybe this isn't right, or I'm going the wrong way.
Exactly. It triggers that, desire for safety.
For comfort.
Exactly. But here's a really fascinating idea we're digging into today.
Hmm.
What if that feeling, that wall, that resistance, what if it isn't actually a sign to stop?
Okay.
What if it's actually like powerful proof that you are moving forward?
Yeah, we've been looking at a couple of really insightful sources for this deep dive.
Hmm.
Um, there's this audio clip that gives a really profound perspective on purpose, comfort, and, well, the surprise and role resistance plays in our lives.
Okay.
And then alongside that, we've got another source that takes these big kind of abstract ideas
Mm-hmm.
and applies them directly. It shows how educators, specifically in fields like, barbering or beauty arts, those hands-on skills,
Right. Very practical
how
feel.
they can use this whole framework as a fundamental teaching tool.
That's a great combination. So taking a deep idea about growth
Yeah,
and grounding it in how you actually learn a craft, build a career, it gives it real relevance.
absolutely. So our mission, really, with this deep dive is to unpack these sources and really get this central message. The challenges, the pushback, the pressure you feel,
Mm-hmm.
they aren't just obstacles to, dread or avoid. When you look at them through the lens of these sources, they could actually be indicators,
Mm-hmm.
signs that you are making real progress.
Okay, so flipping the script on difficulty.
Totally. That you're actively stepping closer to your goals. So we'll explore how educators can reframe this for students learning these essential skills.
That's key for those fields.
And maybe most importantly, how you, listening now, wherever you are on your own journey, learning something or growing, how you can apply this perspective yourself.
And right from the start, as the sources point out, there's this core tension, isn't there? It's a choice, really,
A choice between what?
between chasing comfort or striving for progress and purpose, because, well, those two things often lead you down very different roads.
Okay, let's unpack that then, starting right there. With that tension, comfort versus purpose, especially in a learning environment like, say, barber or beauty school.
Well, the sources really draw a strong line here, and it's a crucial mindset shift, something educators can really help with.
How so?
It's about helping students see that their time in school isn't just about feeling comfortable during classes or practice, or only sticking to the haircuts or styles they've already mastered.
Right. Because it's so easy to just fall into that groove, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doing what feels safe, what you already know. It's just human nature.
It is, but the sources argue that simply fighting to feel better, meaning just trying to make your immediate situation less stressful or difficult.
Avoiding the hard stuff.
Yeah, or just sticking rigidly to that comfortable routine.
Hmm.
That's not where the big growth happens. That's more about like maintenance, not elevation.
So real growth isn't about making the process easy. It's about aiming for a better place, a better outcome.
Exactly. It's about, as they put it, striving to get themselves in a better place. It means chasing a bigger, more meaningful purpose.
And for someone learning barbering or beauty, that purpose could be pretty substantial, right?
Absolutely. Becoming a really skilled professional, maybe a true artist with hair or skin, maybe owning their own shop someday, becoming an entrepreneur. That kind of goal, well, it inherently means pushing past the comfort zone.
So an educator can frame that really tough practice session not as a chore, but as a direct step towards that bigger goal.
Precisely. And it's exactly when you push past comfort, when you strive for that purpose, that you inevitably run into opposition.
Okay, and this is where the sources get really interesting, kind of counterintuitive.
They really do. Because students will face difficulties. I mean, struggling to nail a perfect fade after trying 10 times.
Or dealing with a really challenging client, personality-wise or technically.
Right. Or just the long hours on your feet, practicing those fundamental cuts, or wrestling with the theory side of things. It often feels like failure.
Like, maybe I'm just not cut out for this.
That's the immediate thought, isn't it? This is too hard. Something's wrong. I must be failing.
Yeah.
But the core idea, the really transformative one from the audio source, which the second one applies directly to education,
Is what?
is that these difficulties, this opposition, this pressure, they aren't actually signs of failure at all.
Okay, hold on. Not failure.
Nope. They're actually confirmation. Confirmation that you are moving, that you are making progress.
Confirmation. That seems backward. How is hitting a wall proof you're moving forward?
Well, think about it this way, as one source puts it so clearly. If there's no pushback, you're probably not making progress.
Why?
Because no one tries to stop what's not moving. If you're just standing still, metaphorically speaking.
Right. If you're not challenging yourself, doing the same easy thing.
Exactly. There's no friction then. Nothing's pushing back because you're not actually trying to go anywhere new or difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm starting to see it. So the very fact that there is resistance implies that you must be applying some force. You must be trying to move into new territory.
Precisely. And the sources use this incredible analogy for it. That resistance you feel, the struggle with that technique, the tricky client, the mental drain from practicing.
Yeah.
It's like a receipt.
A receipt, like from a store. Proof of purchase?
Kind of. A receipt proves you invested something, right? Time, energy, effort. This resistance, this difficulty, it's the proof that your investment is real.
Huh. Proof that your effort is actually making an impact.
Yes. And proof that you are, in fact, stepping into your purpose. Educators can use this. They can teach students to see that frustrating mistake or that really difficult client interaction.
Not as just a negative thing.
Right, but as tangible proof they're engaging, they're investing their time and energy well, it's proof they're on the path. You know, the teacher could say, look, that messed up highlight, that's your receipt. It proves you're not just watching, you're doing, you're pushing your skills.
Wow, okay. But let's be real here. The sources aren't saying this is, like, fun or easy.
Oh, definitely not. They're very clear. Making progress is hard.
It demands something from you.
Absolutely. The audio source is really direct about it. Achieving progress requires focus, real effort, and a deep commitment to keep pushing forward, especially when it gets tough.
It's not passive. You have to actively participate.
You do. And that focus, that effort, that commitment, that's what educators need to help students build, right? That dedication to practice, even when it's tedious.
Or studying the theory, even if it feels dry sometimes.
Or just showing up and doing the work, even when you don't feel motivated or when you hit that wall again.
Yeah.
And the sources offer a really powerful reason why, a kind of promise almost. That commitment, the grit, to push through the difficulty, to lean into that resistance.
What about it?
Well, that commitment will take you places that comfort would never let you go.
So staying comfortable actually limits you.
Totally. It keeps you stuck within your current skills, your current knowledge level. It's the commitment to facing down that resistance that unlocks the next level.
New skills, new opportunities.
New achievements you maybe couldn't even imagine from back there in your comfort zone.
That's a really compelling way to frame it. Okay, so commitment is the engine, resistance is proof you're moving. What about pressure? The sources also mention how pressure reveals what comfort conceals.
That's another really cool insight. Think about it. When you're in a comfortable, low-stakes setting, maybe just practicing on a mannequin head.
You're not really tested.
Right, you can kind of hide weaknesses, stick to what you know, take your sweet time. But pressure situations, like, say, performing a complex haircut with a client waiting and the clock ticking in a busy salon.
Or having to quickly fix a color that didn't turn out as expected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those moments, they aren't just stressful things to survive. They strip away all the comfort.
And they show you what you really know.
Right?
Under duress.
Precisely. They show where your skills are solid and, maybe more importantly, where the gaps are, the areas that still need serious work.
Things you wouldn't necessarily see just practicing calmly.
No way. These pressure points reveal your ability to perform under actual real-world conditions. They test your problem solving, your speed, your precision. It's insight you just cannot get by staying safe.
So the sources are basically saying, don't run from pressure.
Yeah, they strongly encourage educators to teach students not to be afraid of pressure, but to see it almost like a diagnostic tool.
Like it's giving you valuable information.
Yeah, exactly. It's telling you very clearly, here's where you are strong and here's where you need to focus next. That information is gold for growth.
Okay, so if you feel this resistance, this pressure, the advice isn't to retreat, which is what most of us want to do.
Definitely not retreat. The recommended response, the practical action when you hit that wall, is actually engagement.
You mean lean into it?
Yes,
Yeah.
lean into it, endure it, and crucially, push through it. That process, that's what builds resilience.
Which is absolutely vital for any professional career.
Especially in fields like barbering and beauty, right?
Right.
Where every client, every service can throw you a curveball you haven't seen before. You need that resilience.
You need to be able to think on your feet and keep going.
And the sources frame this whole ongoing process quite beautifully, actually. They suggest that this season of learning, or any period of intense growth, it's not about seeking ease.
So about seeking what?
Elevation. And if you understand that elevation, getting to that higher level, is the goal, well, then it just makes sense that every step forward will come with some resistance.
So you should almost expect it, not be shocked by it.
Exactly. Expect it. Don't be discouraged. It reframes the struggle completely. It's not a sign you're failing.
It's just part of the climb.
It is part of the climb. It's the force that shapes you, strengthens you. And as the sources put it, this resistance will also take you closer to who you're called to be.
It's part of becoming, well, better, realizing your potential.
It's like the fire that refines the metal. It's necessary.
Which I guess ultimately boils down to a really simple, undeniable truth that the sources keep coming back to.
Which is?
You simply cannot improve if you don't move.
Period. That's it, isn't it? It's that basic.
Doing nothing, avoiding the hard stuff.
Shying away from that challenging client, staying stuck where it's comfortable.
That actively stops growth.
Dead in its tracks.
Yeah.
Movement, taking action, trying things, practicing, learning. Yeah, even failing sometimes and trying again. That's the absolute non-negotiable requirement for getting better at anything.
It really is such a powerful lens to view struggle through. It's not just about the outcome of getting better.
No, it's about the process itself. The process of getting better is inherently tangled up with facing those challenges.
Putting in the work, feeling the resistance.
Facing the difficulty. That's not just like the price you pay. It is the process of becoming more skilled, more capable, more aligned with whatever your purpose is.
Okay, so let's bring this right back to you, the listener. Think for a second about the challenges you're facing right now. Maybe in your job, learning a new skill, a personal project, even just trying to build a better habit.
That feeling of hitting resistance, that pressure, that little voice telling you to just go back to what's comfortable.
Could that pushback you're feeling,
Yeah.
could it actually be confirmation, like proof that you are moving, that you're making progress and stepping towards your goal?
It really challenges how we normally react to difficulty, doesn't it? That immediate negative interpretation.
Yeah, the sources kind of force you to pause and ask, wait, what does this struggle actually mean?
Reframing difficulty not as a stop sign, but maybe as evidence of momentum. That's pretty fascinating.
Which leaves us with something pretty big to think about, I think. One source described that resistance as a receipt. Proof of time and energy well spent.
Right. Proof of investment.
So think about your own journey right now. What difficult task, what challenging thing you're trying to learn, what piece of resistance might you currently be, avoiding, trying to sidestep?
Mm-hmm.
And what if? What if you chose to lean into it instead, to endure it, push through it? What receipt might you get on the other side?
What proof of progress? What insight into what you're capable of?
What investment in your own purpose might facing that challenge actually give you?
Definitely something to mull over as you navigate your own path forward, wherever that might be leading.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.